Hey gang, Mark Sweeney here from Austin Dental Spa in beautiful Austin, Texas. If you're tuning in for the first time, this is Wisdom Wednesday. We do it every Wednesday for probably going on 6 years now. I try to introduce some new either dental or medical or overall health advice, and then we do a health tip at the end that usually kind of ties into the scientific part of the meeting. If you've been a regular viewer, then you know all this stuff already, and you know that this is the first day of March, and we always have a theme every month, and our theme for this month is Get Moving in March, and so that's why I was doing the stair stepping. We all, by the time we're a year old, we're learning to walk. And we don't think that much about it, just it gets us from one place to another. But since our theme this month is Get Moving in March, I did a little research on walking, and I found a couple of things that surprised me. Now, there are a couple of things that are a little bit redundant. You're going to hear the same thing over and over again as far as effects, but I found 5 things that you might not have known, because at least 2 of them I didn't know about, that benefit from walking. And so we're going to get right into it and talk about 5 things that you might not know about that walking helps with. So it counteracts the effects of weight-promoting genes. I didn't even know they had weight-promoting genes. But this is from Harvard Medical School. So these Harvard researchers looked at 32 obesity-promoting genes. I didn't know there were 32 obesity-promoting genes even, but in over 12,000 people. You heard that right, 12,000 people. They looked at these 32 obesity-producing genes, and they discovered that among the study participants, the ones who walked briskly for about an hour a day, now you're going to hear this over and over again, for about an hour a day. Now that's a pretty hefty walk, but the ones who walked for an hour a day, think of those people that have the little Fitbit things on their arms and they're tracking their steps. So it doesn't have to be a continuous hour. It just has to be an hour's worth of walking. So that's really pretty achievable. But the ones who did it for an hour a day, the effects of those 32 obesity-producing genes were cut in half by 50%. So walking not only stimulates your cardiovascular system and helps you burn off fat because it's an aerobic activity, but it affects things on the genetic level and makes these genes half as effective at promoting obesity in your body. So I thought that was really interesting. This is a new one on me. I was a little skeptical at first, but I found some corroborating studies. It helps tame sweet tooth. A pair of studies, this was from the University of Exeter over in the United Kingdom. They found that a 15-minute walk can curb cravings for chocolate and even reduce the amount of chocolate that you eat when you are going to eat chocolate in a stressful situation. So it not only reduces your urge to eat sweets, but it also reduces the amount, if you do get access to the sweets, you're only going to eat half as much. The latest research confirms that walking can reduce cravings and intake in a variety of sugary snacks. So it's not just chocolate. But I thought that was interesting, especially since it came from someplace over the pond. Number 3. It reduces the risk of developing breast cancer. This was a new one on me. Researchers already knew that any kind of physical activity blunts the risk of breast cancer, but the American Cancer Society study zeroed in on walking and found that women who walked 7 or more hours a week, we're back to that 1 hour a day on average, had a 14% lower risk of breast cancer than those who walked 3 hours or fewer per week. So the people who walked twice as much, averaging about an hour a day, had a 14%. Now, if I were a female, I would be paying attention to that. That's pretty significant, that all you got to do is spend the time walking and you reduce your risk of cancer by 14%, at least breast cancer. I'd never heard that connection before. Number 4, now this is fairly common knowledge, it eases joint pain. my mother had rheumatoid arthritis, and I know when she set herself to walking around the block in the neighborhood where we grew up, she felt better. Several studies have found that walking reduces arthritis-related pain, and that walking 5 to 6 miles a week, we're back to that, most people can walk a mile in an hour, so we're back to that 1 hour a day. But people that walk 5 to 6 miles a week can even prevent arthritis from forming in the first place, because you're walking on the load-bearing joints, the hips and the knees, and they're the ones that are most susceptible to osteoarthritis. And so by walking, just a rhythmical, non-sweating movement, not overstressing your body, but it lubricates and strengthens the muscles that around the knees and the hips. Who knew? Number 5, and finally, it boosts immune system function. I could have sort of figured on this one. Walking can help protect you during the cold and flu season, but not just a winter activity. A study of, now this is again, over 1,000 men and women found that those who walked at least 20 minutes a day for at least 5 days a week had 43% fewer sick days than those who exercised once a week or less. So I thought that was really, really cool. And if they did get sick, the people who walked 20 minutes a day, 5 times a week, were sick for less and had less severe symptoms. So that's pretty common. But walking, that not a stressful activity. We're not asking you to change your diet or anything. Just walk more, track it, and you could end up being healthier. So that's what Wisdom Wednesday is all about. Our health tip for the week. Here's a good one. How can you improve your sleep? In one simple trick, exercise in the morning versus late in the evening, because if you exercise late in the afternoon or into the evening, it's harder to go to sleep because your body's kind of fired up and blood pressure is up. So it's helps if you exercise in the mornings or earlier in the day, and out in the sun will help with your circadian rhythm, which helps us our bodies adjust to whether it's daytime or nighttime. The days are starting to get a little longer now. I'm really enjoying that it's not dark when I walk out at 6 o'clock now. And so pretty soon, I think second week of March, so not this weekend, but the next weekend, we go back to regular time, so we'll spring forward and lose that hour, and all of a sudden it'll be light till 7 or 8 at night. That's going to be kind of exciting. Spring is coming. So that's all I have for this week for Wisdom Wednesday. Thanks for tuning in, and I'll see you again next week for another version of Wisdom Wednesday.